Hi, welcome to the tutorial on Draw.io. We're going to be developing a concept map for our problem solutions later, but first I want you guys to get acquainted with what a concept map is and how we can make one using this web-based forum. In doing so, you're first going to come to the website. It's called Draw.io. This is the link for it. You're going to develop a concept map by like this one that I had made earlier. In doing so, you're going to see all of these tools. We're really not going to use many of the pictures that are represented here in these diagrams. When developing our map, we're only going to be using the squares, the lines, and the lines with the arrows attached to them. That's it. Just to keep things simple. Having some technical difficulties here. This system actually is, regardless of my technical difficulties, really pretty simple to use. I became pretty familiar with it when I was developing my concept map. I'm going to start from scratch here so you guys can see how this bad boy actually works. So you would go to Draw.io, or I should start by typing it all in. So if I typed it into Google, this is what would happen. You're going to click on the Draw.io icon. It's going to ask where you want to save it. I think that it might be easiest for us to save it in Google Drive to start out with, because we're going to be sharing other diagrams later that we make via Google Drive. So let's just start there. You're going to say Google Drive. We're going to create a new diagram. We're going to use a blank template. Then we're going to use my email. Okay, so now we're here. We want the basic shapes. And the general shapes. I think that the general shapes are easiest to use. That's what I used when I developed my first one. We're going to be using the double grid for the double square for the main concept. So the main concept of concept maps is going to, our concept map table is going to be concept maps. After reading the article, they discuss the purposes of concept maps. Now, everyone's might look different because it's how you connect your conceptual knowledge. Everybody's are guaranteed going to look different when they first make their first one. You ultimately just want to start out with the main concept in the middle. So whether it be concept maps like we have here, or cognitive learning theory, that's going to be what's in this big square right here. And I say big square, I use that term lightly because some people who have developed concept maps say that like the larger the concept, the bigger the square. We're not going to worry about shapes here. We're just going to make our concept maps using the squares and the templates that I have. If you decide to alter the size of it, that's fine. However, it should be, viewable for all of us. So tiny isn't necessarily better. So what's great about this forum is that you could just double click in here and then write your new concept text. So concept maps. The purpose of concept maps is to link ideas together. These ideas, we're going to refer to them as conceptual knowledge. Bam. Then conceptual knowledge are maybe theories, we could say. They can be, and then theories might have, we're developing our maps later. Theories have, let's call them like teaching practices, since that's the purpose of this class, is linking theory to practice. And so you can see how these build off of one another. Now we can link these ideas using, for the purposes of this class, you guys can use the horizontal line or this line. You can also use arrows, which will show me in what direction you're going, and this might be useful as our concept maps become more complex. But again, it's however you choose. I'm letting you guys decide what you want to use based on what you feel more comfortable with. If you use arrows, I will warn you, it's great to show me that understanding. However, it does become difficult, and it might become frustrating later as you maneuver your ideas around. So it's important that all of our concepts are linked together somehow. So I'm going to use this one just to show you. It's easy. It just pulls up right away. Linked together. So if I walk around the room when I'm providing facilitator support for you guys, I need to make sure that you have your concepts linked to something. There shouldn't be just like a teaching practice over here. That means you haven't connected it to the theory, which doesn't demonstrate your understanding of how it makes that connection. So it's important that all of these, what they call nodes, link with other nodes. Again, the nodes are the squares or the rectangles that are, surrounding your text of the concept. So I'm going to get rid of this really terrible concept map I made and give you the more advanced one from the text. So here you can see the concept map is the main idea, as we discussed before, and then we have the focus questions, the organized knowledge, the effective teaching, the effective learning. Organized knowledge then relates to concept maps. Now you can see how all of these things relate, but when we're doing this, you notice how things like linking is not connected with effective learning, because they're not directly related. They're related through other methods, through the organized knowledge, and then it comes over here. So this is how they're labeled. If I saw that you linked these two together, I might be concerned in a way, in order to make sure that your understanding is the same as where you should be. So things like this, honestly, is, it's important that your map is organized, and for the purposes of the first practice problem, it would be good for you to make sure everything is linked very clearly, just so you get the hang of it and how to do it. But when you guys get the problem solution later, I'm not going to be a stickler. Like, if you have an arrow here and it's not directly connected to the rectangle, that's okay with me, as long as it gives me that idea. And that's pretty much it. So what's great about this is it saves automatically because it's linked through a cloud, since it's through your Google Drive. You can also save it as, and I always do this just to be safe, download it as a JPEG, so that you can save it to your computer for later. You can share it, which you guys will be doing, and then you'll get like a little link, and you're going to post these links to the announcement sections of our practice problem. So that's what you're going to be doing with this, is you're going to be just copying and pasting this link, copy, or you can go here to share. So let's practice this way, share, and I don't want everybody at the GSE to look at my link, so I'm going to get rid of that. Only specific cases people can. And so I have the link, and so what I can do is go to our practice map link, and then I can post it on here. So now my link is there for everyone to see. And you can write something nice and friendly and say, like, here's my concept map, my practice concept map, but there you go. And that's how we'll share that. So I hope this was helpful. I think the most helpful thing to do is to experiment with the piece of technology yourself in order to become acquainted, which is why I'm not giving you a big complex task at first. You're just mimicking the concept map I have posted here in our practice map page.